My name is Samantha Clark, a 39-year-old woman living in the quiet suburbs of London. I've been married to Richard for 7 years, a respectable man, kind-hearted, but always buried in his business ventures. Our marriage was stable, not perfect. We shared a life, a house, and responsibilities, but we hadn't shared emotions for quite a while. Richard had a son from his previous marriage. Daniel, who just turned 20, had been living with us since he was 16. He was polite, soft-spoken, and deeply reserved. He barely spoke more than a few sentences a day, especially with me. There was something mysterious about his eyes, always observing, quietly, intensely. It was a rainy Thursday when Richard told me he had to leave for an urgent business meeting in Manchester. He'd be gone overnight. I didn't question it. It wasn't the first time. He left that evening, kissing my cheek like he always did, his suitcase rolling behind him. I poured myself a glass of wine and sat on the sofa, listening to the soft hum of the rain tapping against the windows. I assumed Daniel wasn't home. He usually stayed at university or out with friends, rarely returning before midnight. But I was wrong. Around 10 p.m., while I was brushing my hair in the bedroom, I heard a gentle knock. I turned. The door creaked open, and Daniel stood there, drenched slightly, his hoodie clinging to him from the rain. "I didn't know you were home," I said, startled. "Just got in," he replied, his voice calm but low. There was a pause. An awkward one. He didn't walk away. "Is everything okay?" I asked. His eyes darted towards the window. "It's storming bad out there." And he looked down. "I keep hearing things. Noises." I smiled faintly. "It's just the wind. Come in for a minute if you want." He stepped inside slowly and sat at the edge of the bed, avoiding my eyes. I could see he was tense. His jaw clenched slightly, his fingers fidgeting. Something wasn't right. "You all right?" I asked again, softly this time. He hesitated. "Can I just stay here tonight? Just sleep here? I don't feel right." There was silence. I looked at him, confused. This was unlike him. But something about the stormy night, the flickering lights, and the lonely house made me nod without thinking too much. "All right. Just sleep." I climbed into bed, and he pulled a blanket over himself beside me. I kept a pillow between us, setting the boundary. But inside, my heart was racing. Why? I didn't know. Maybe it was the unusualness of the situation, or maybe it was something I had never dared to think. For a while, we both lay there quietly. The rain outside grew louder, thundering now. A bolt of lightning lit up the entire room. "Are you scared of storms?" I asked, whispering. He didn't reply immediately. "No," he said eventually. "I'm just scared of being alone." His voice held weight. Not the kind of fear kids have, but the kind adults carry deep inside. "You're not alone, Daniel," I said gently. He turned slightly, his face close to mine now in the dark. "I know. That's why I came here." There was something in his voice, something I couldn't name. Tenderness? Pain? Longing? I felt his fingers brush against mine. Softly. Hesitantly. I didn't pull away. Was it wrong? Maybe. But in that moment, it didn't feel like it. It felt human. The past and the present. The next morning, I woke up to sunlight spilling into the room. Daniel was still beside me, fast asleep, his face peaceful. For the first time, I noticed how mature he looked. He wasn't the teenager I once met. He was a man now. I quietly got up and went to the kitchen. As I sipped my coffee, my phone buzzed. A message from Richard. "Meeting postponed. Heading back tonight." A strange guilt crept into my chest. Nothing had happened between me and Daniel, but something had changed. Later that day, Daniel came downstairs, sat at the table, and finally spoke. "There's something you should know," he said. I looked at him, puzzled. "My dad, he's not who you think he is." I raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Daniel swallowed hard. "He didn't marry you just for love. He needed someone to cover his tracks. Financial ones." "What are you talking about?" "He's in debt. Deep debt. Gambling, bad investments. He used your savings to pay off a few. I found the bank statements. That's why he travels so much, It's not always work. My heart pounded. I didn't want to believe him. But deep down, I had felt things weren't perfect for a while. Daniel placed a folder on the table. See for yourself. I opened it. Documents. Transactions. My own account showing withdrawals I never made. He said if I ever told you, he'd cut me off. But I couldn't keep quiet anymore. Not after last night. My world spun. You think he married me for my money? I whispered. Daniel nodded. And what about you? Why did you come to my room? He looked at me, his eyes soft. Because I've wanted to talk to you for a long time. You were the only real part of this house. And because I care about you more than I probably should. My breath caught. He stood, walked over, and gently placed a hand over mine. Last night wasn't a mistake. It was the first time I felt peace in this house. The decision. Richard came back that evening, cheerful as ever. I didn't confront him immediately. I watched, observed. And over the next week, everything Daniel said began to add up. Late-night calls, hidden folders, unexplained credit card charges. Lies. One night, when Richard was asleep, I packed a bag. I left with Daniel. We didn't run away for love. We left for truth. 1 year later, we moved to Brighton. I started a small bookstore. Daniel took up photography. We lived quietly, far from the shadows of our past. Yes, we were judged, but we didn't care. Because sometimes love isn't just about age or roles. It's about moments, choices, and the courage to follow what feels right. Daniel changed my life. And maybe I changed his too. That stormy night had shattered one home, but it built another. And I never looked back.